Child abuse is pervasive across all segments of society, an issue that has been exacerbated since the onset of COVID-19. Even before COVID-19, it was estimated that 500,000 abuse cases occur in Brazil annually, 70% of which involve children or adolescents. In the United States, the CDC reports that 1 in 7 children experience child abuse and/or neglect annually. Family violence is a hidden pandemic happening alongside COVID-19, disproportionately affecting women and children. If homes are not a safe space, how can governments and institutions provide protection to their citizens? As a first step, schools can play a vital role in combating child abuse because children spend a large portion of time in school, either virtually or in person, giving educators unique access to students. Our social enterprise, Tech to Protect, will provide school administrators and teachers the tools to help children identify and prevent abuse. Our survey of over 100 American and Brazilian teachers found that a majority had received some form of training for responding to child abuse, but most did not feel prepared. Our survey also displayed the existence of a space to address these problems. 84% of teachers currently use e-learning platforms, and 69% would be interested in using a similar platform for abuse prevention. Governments have also demonstrated interest. In Brazil, the government has significantly invested in supporting technological innovation in schools. And in New York City, Mayor de Blasio commissioned a task force to assess sexual health education and identify policy recommendations to improve prevention efforts. To combat child abuse, Tech to Protect will develop Athena, an educational platform using adaptive learning piloted in Recife, Brazil, and New York City. Athena's three-pronged approach will improve education in elementary-aged children on topics to prevent abuse through curricula, games, and activities designed by industry experts, gather data through children's responses to built-in surveys and activities, as well as observations from adults about student behavior, allowing educators to monitor potential signs of abuse and respond appropriately in real time, and develop a novel evidence base, allowing policymakers to craft more responsive prevention policies by connecting privatized data input into Athena with previously existing databases to create a cohesive source of information about rates of child abuse to change makers in governments and organizations. Educators will be the primary user of our platform as they are the frontline responders to child abuse. Our initial target market is extensive. In Recife and New York City, there are over 1,000 schools with 95,000 teachers and 460,000 students. Educators will have access to a network of resilience, a community of practice to connect and share ideas and tools with other teachers, as well as access to child psychologists. Our most vital customers will include governments and edtechs. In our current state of globalization, an undeniably connected world that also allows for the possibility of narrowcasting disjointed realities to the point of forgetting the common bonds that connect us, we can create an international standardized mechanism for child protection, allowing policymakers to derive data-driven evidence from one reliable source. Governments will be able to compare data and share best practices regarding abuse prevention, advancing regional and international cooperation, and strengthening global governance mechanisms.